Okay, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Miscast Review.
Still called the Miscast Review.
Still called the Miscast Review. About 98% of the listeners today have never heard of us.
But there are those 6 who really just are in luck because your favorite podcast is starting back up.
We're back. This is in appearance, episode 1, brand new show on all platforms. That's because we did the show. Well, I guess before I get into the history and lore of everything, maybe we should actually fucking introduce who we are as the hosts of this ship, the captains of this ship, I should say, maybe, because we're in a vehicle.
Can't do introductions too fast, bro.
I know, and it's crazy.
In the wise words of this one Cockney guy from this movie I saw a few weeks ago, don't break your neck by stucking your own cock. Oh wait, that was the dude from Rocket Man, the record producer. That's who said that.
Yeah. All right.
British people, dude, they're interesting.
They are interesting.
They have some sayings.
They have quite the grammatical vocabulary. Anyway,
yeah.
Introductions of your captains of the ship. I am Jake O'Mara, one of your hosts, and to my right, your left, is your other co-host, Mr. Donovan Holland. Hello. So,
hola. I just graduated I just passed my Spanish class.
Whoop whoop. 10 years of Spanish.
10 years of I can say greetings. And I have the credentials to prove it.
Very nice. I guess maybe we should delve into our histories of and relationship with cinema, as this is a film discussion coverage show. We should explain why we have any sense of credentials of even be able to speak on a platform about this topic.
Oh, because we've done it before, because we're smart and we have good opinions.
Well, I mean, if you're not into film, why have a film podcast? So we should,
that's true.
Explain to the listeners what our relationship to film over our life has been. Why do we want to be sitting here?
I love that, and so I think it would kind of be fun since we've kind of been talking about just watching movies for forever.
Yeah.
I think it would be fun if I kind of kind of described the type of movies you like, and then you described the type of movies I like. Okay, I'll go first.
Sure.
So Jake anything that's art house, bro. Jake will just be
yes.
He is on cloud 9. If it says A24, then he will shove everyone over in the line. He is buying those tickets first.
I'm there.
He's there.
Sign me up.
Just anything
dude, I even have A24 socks.
Dude, it just has to be the more artsy and the more amount of just single takes that just show someone eating pie for 10 minutes.
Oh my god, yeah.
Anything that says Cannes Film Festival, Jake is there. Okay.
Not necessarily Cannes. TIFF is my favorite.
TIFF. Okay. TIFF. Okay, I'll remember that.
Yeah.
I didn't even really know that was a festival.
Toronto Film Festival. It's huge.
Oh, okay. When you said TIFF. Okay, now do me. Jake's gonna roast the fuck out of me. It's gonna be hilarious.
Your type of film is has to be R-rated. If it's not R, then it's why the fuck isn't it R? This is stupid. It has to have some sense of violence and gore, I would say. And the more stylish that filmmaking is done and how it's showcased to you, the more he's gonna go insane. Yeah, in a good way. Insane, good insane.
I'm gonna love it.
John Wick, for example.
I eat that shit up.
John Wick, for example.
Exactly.
It's
John Wick.
Just beautiful, gory action, just perfect.
I think Kill Bill is like
as well as Kill Bills.
the-
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's kind of like the movie that all of those filmmakers saw, and that's why we have all those stylistic fight scenes. Are you ready to get into film news? Because I actually have one.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Well, sure.
Okay.
We didn't specify our relationship to cinema at all, but we can move on. We just played a fun game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was fun. And I feel like it told a lot about us as well.
It did. It showcased our tastes and style of what we love the most in terms of this art form.
And we've been at it for a while, and I think we have some good opinions because we're smart and we have good brains.
Yeah. I mean, we've known each other like over 10 years at this point, and I think cinema has always played a huge part.
I think we've
in
known
our
each other
friendship.
almost 15 years, but yes, definitely a huge part. We used to just watch the Pokemon movies and And in all seriousness, while everyone else was going just like, oh, so cool, we were just like, wow, like that like complex relationship between Ash and Charizard is like such good writing.
Seriously though,
Like,
we
it
were
was-
like, man, these like character moments are like huge in their
Dude,
dynamics.
Charizard knew where exactly Ash was going to be so he could swoop in and catch him in that third Pokemon movie. And I'm just like,
Yeah, just tears gushing down.
it's... Speaking of which, oh my god, this we'll get into the movie later. I mean,
Yeah.
This is did we announce what movie we're doing? Do we even need to? I mean, it's
I
in
mean,
the title.
it's in the title.
It's in the title.
It's
Yeah,
Guardians
what we're doing.
3.
We're Guardians.
Yeah. Come
Okay.
on.
So the usual format, what we're going to be doing is we're going to have the news, just like any film or TV news coming up.
Whatever's going on in the industry.
All that good stuff. And then we're going to do any recommendations that we would have for like what we're watching or a movie that we just saw that's besides movies. Recommendations
Yeah, exactly.
or whatever we're watching, and then we're going to discuss the movie with spoilers because everyone should have seen the movie before.
No spoiler sections here.
I know.
We don't do that.
That seems like just a waste of time. It's just like go watch the movie and then come here and
Exactly.
listen to it all in
like,
one shot.
I don't...
Like, let us cram our content, inside you guys, like, all at once instead
Unfiltered.
of... Yeah, unfiltered, exactly.
Yeah, like if you want a no spoiler section, there's plenty of other shows that are going to do that.
Exactly.
We're not one of them. We dive right in that deep end, hardcore. You know what I'm
Hardcore.
saying? Full thrust and just
No...
and just
No
let it
holds
rip.
barred.
Just full no spoilers, deep dive. So I mean, we're gonna have to clarify this probably every episode, but just so you know, here it's not happening. No full spoilers.
So, for news,
Hit me with what you got.
So, I've kind of... There's this really interesting, like, subsection of movies that I've kind of been just kind of enamored by lately, and that would be so certain movies, right? Like, even in this world of like streaming like everything and being able to like rent like or download or kind of get like whatever you want on demand or whatever.
Yeah.
There's this certain group of movies that are just unattainable. Like,
Yeah.
you just can't watch them unless you, like, pirate them, like, however one might do that. I mean, I don't know. I've never pirated anything.
Yeah, me neither. I have no idea what you're talking about. I would know nothing of the sort
Absolutely.
of how to do that.
Nothing at all.
Nothing.
But I think, so one of those movies, another one is Dogma that we just watched.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I guess, like everyone has a different reason. There's this movie called Old Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Which I guess is impossible to see, like, anywhere. It's being released into theaters this summer.
Yep.
I don't know if I saw exact dates. I'm sure they'll release them.
Yeah. They'll be announced somewhere.
But it's this like it's the like the martial arts movie or like the kung fu.
Yeah.
Or there's like
yeah,
there's like martial
there's a
arts
lot
in it.
of there
But
is.
it's like this old school style, like 70s martial arts style, like crime movie, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
just looks really good. And I've heard great things. I've always wanted to watch it.
It's insane. I saw it.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
It's fucking insane. It's really wild.
I will definitely be seeing that, and I hope you guys will too, because it should be great.
Yeah, I saw it. Ricardo actually showed it to me in high school, I think, or like early high school or something like that.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Maybe I was in college. I don't know. But it was ridiculous. It was insane. So I'm stoked. Because it's coming out remastered as well.
So it's just like HD. Oh, yeah, because it's from the 90s, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I forget when it came out.
Okay,
There's a horrible American remake of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah.
Like any familiar actors in it, or no?
Yeah, I forget who is the main guy though.
Here, let's. I'm gonna look that up right now.
Yeah, look that up. I know it's someone that you know though. But I don't remember who. I think it came out in 2015.
2013.
2013.
Let's see. Okay, cast.
Let's
Thriller
see here.
and mystery?
I wouldn't really call it a thriller.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
I don't know why your cast ain't working.
Okay, so my phone's not like literally. I need to get a new phone. We're gonna attach my Venmo in the description because I really need a new phone.
Get a phone fund.
This isn't okay. I'm.
I think if
your money is probably better spent on like other things. I'm kidding.
My memory, I'm not entirely sure. I want to say it's Josh Brolin.
Really?
But I think I could be completely wrong too. But for some reason, that's funny. The person that's in my head.
I mean, I could see that, just him kind of phoning in a performance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what about your movie news?
My movie news, I mean, to start, first of all...
Next time, by the way, we're going to have like a table here and like maybe like another chair. It's going to be a little more professional.
Yeah, that'll come in the coming weeks, and then I won't have to cramp my arm so bad by holding the mic. But honestly, I was doing a ton of research for the news, and there just like really isn't much happening right now. Like there is a lot of like casting news or like projects being announced and whatnot, but like nothing that we would really care about.
Okay.
Or like like have anything to discuss.
Well, then I do have one more kind of like news / discussion point.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone who's confused, if you've been to the movies lately, I'm sure you guys have seen that the trailer for the Flash movie.
Oh yeah.
And wondered how Ezra Miller is still allowed to like be in a movie, because for those of you who don't know. I think he had some like kidnapping and like child endangerment, something wacky going on. Like,
I don't know. They were. I think this was shot before a lot of that happened with them.
So they're just gonna that's just gonna be like his only Flash movie.
Well, I mean, a lot of people have been asking that, and someone actually, I think it was at one of the Guardians premieres, had asked James Gunn, because he's now the CEO of DC,
yeah,
if there's plans for Ezra to continue on, and James Gunn basically said, I don't know, we'll see. Like, because, I mean, they have been, like, terrorizing society for the last, like, 5 years, and I think if they do continue with them, it's going to be not so good or well received.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I think it's really easy to recast them, especially with the freaking whole multiverse or like timeline and shit being messed up. Like, you can easily just be like, oh, Flash is different because of they messed up the timeline or something, and now he looks different, so I think it's really easy to recast them.
And I don't know about you guys, but anyone who like is gonna see that movie or might see it, like I'm not seeing it for Ezra Miller Flash. I'm seeing it for Michael Keaton Batman. Like,
Oh,
that's
100%.
Okay, yeah.
And I forget.
Like, that looks awesome.
I forget who's cast as Supergirl, but she seems phenomenal.
Okay.
And I've heard that she gives like this crazy performance, so I'm like super psyched to see that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But mainly, yeah, I want to see it for them too, and yeah, just to see what's going on, because it premiered at CinemaCon like a month ago to like raving reviews. Am I getting a telephone call? How unprofessional of me.
Silence, you little bird.
Apologies for that. My dad tried to call me and thought I butt dialed him, but I did nothing of the sort. So, but anyway, yeah. So Flash premiered at CinemaCon recently to like unbelievably raving reviews. Like,
really?
Everyone's been like tweaking about it.
Okay.
Yeah, they all have been saying it's like.
Is Ben Affleck in it too?
Yeah, for like 5 minutes.
So is this gonna be the final movie for this DC universe?
Yeah, as like the Snyderverse. This is basically killing it, and like moving on to the new shit.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna even lie. The only one of those movies that I even saw was the Suicide Squad, which was totally detached from the rest of that whole plot.
Essentially, yeah.
So I can't really speak to it. I never saw Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Justice League, or the Snyder cut of that.
Wow, really?
And I've heard it's like not that good, and then some people say the Snyder cut was really good.
The Snyder cut was really good.
Okay.
I had to watch it in like 12 sittings because it's like 4.5 hours long.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
But it was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's significantly better than the cut that was theatrically released.
For sure.
Yeah, that was a shit show.
I mean, I might like come back to it, one of these days, but I feel like when James Gunn starts pumping out like his like stuff, it's going to pale in comparison to what he's doing. Just like the rest of the MCU now pales in comparison to this movie and like Endgame and Infinity War probably.
Yeah, we're gonna get all into that. It's gonna be, yeah. There's a lot to discuss there.
There's lots to talk about. Anything else to get into?
So the news, the only piece of news, like real news, that is going on in the industry that I thought was relevant to talk about, besides the things that we've already discussed, is that the WGA went on strike.
Oh yeah,
that's like
of course.
Huge.
The Writers Guild Association of Hollywood.
You're really close. It's the Writers Guild of America.
I was thinking America, but then I was like, wait, so does that mean like every like
like the entire country? Wow. Yeah, there's strikes because it's I'm not sure if playwrights are involved in that guild or not.
I mean,
because it's
I don't
still
see why they wouldn't be.
Yeah, I feel like it would be covered in all sense of the word, but
yeah.
So it's been going on for almost the whole month, so it's gonna have like huge ramifications throughout the industry for like the shows that we watch and stuff. Like the quality is about to get real bad.
What do you say the quality is about to get real bad? Because I thought they would just stop production, like it's COVID again or something.
Well, for the most part, that's what's happening, but like it's mainly like network television.
Okay. So what's gonna get like bad about the writing?
Because there's no one on set to supervise the writing and like what's happening. Because a lot of times on set, like there's usually a writer on set who will help make changes necessary along the way.
Okay.
And because there's no one going to be there, it's just going to be like chaos on
set.
So
they're just going to have like episodes that just like get like insane? Like, are people just gonna do whatever they want now?
No, it's just gonna be like bad quality. Like the quality won't be like.
That's not as fun as what I was thinking.
Yeah, there's not gonna be anarchy, but it'll be like just no quality control whatsoever.
Okay, what's a good show? Because I'm blanking right now. I'm not watching anything on right now. The most recent thing that I've been watching is Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
And that ended, I think, a year ago.
Yeah, something
maybe
like that.
6 months ago or something. But like, so what's a TV show that's like currently ongoing that's actually really good? That's gonna be.
I mean,
now?
honestly, I haven't been watching any network television either.
Yeah.
But I guess a good example would be like a lot of shows like sitcoms and stuff. Like when that first happened in 2007, that writer's strike, like all sitcom shows for like a good like half a season just like were garbage.
Oh,
like,
and like Big Bang Theory stayed that way.
Well, yeah, they never got out of it.
Are they? Yeah, I don't.
Not the. We're gonna get all the Big Bang haters now coming at us, but it's just not a good show. I'm sorry.
You mean the people who watch the Big Bang Theory that are also haters?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we are Big Bang. Well, I mean, I don't know about haters, but like, we don't respect it. They're bureaucrats, Morty. We don't respect that.
Trying to think of. I don't know. I don't really know all the ins and outs of how it's gonna affect everything. But just from history of what happened last time, it doesn't seem like things are gonna turn out too good.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, the thing that will turn out good is good for the writers on the writer side, and actually get paid.
Yeah. Oh, for real. No, and I feel for that too, because that's like, I would like to be doing a job like that. I'm trying to do something along those lines when I graduate next December. Like, you know, I'm trying to do that with my degree. Something along the lines of writing, and, you know, it'd be cool to get into film. And, you know, if I'm not getting paid for like the work that I'm doing, especially if it's, you know, work like that's
mm-hmm.
like high demand and, you know, hard on you and, you know, kind of taxing, it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah. I mean, the most like poignant example I can think of that really, like, when I read that this happened, I was just like, yeah, I didn't know it was like this bad. Like, I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was like this bad. Was one of the writers for The Bear on FX with Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah.
Sorry, just your high blank stare. I like. Do
you
know what's going on?
There's a perfectly sharp brain behind those
empty glazed eyes.
Those glazed over eyes.
So one of the writers of that show, I think, so The Bear won, I think, an Emmy for best comedy writing. It's so good, dude. You have to. But so it won like best writing for a comedy series.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was an Emmy, and one of the writers that was there and won the award for his work on the show.
Yeah.
The next day went to a job interview to work at a movie theater because he couldn't afford to live.
What?
Yeah. And when he went to the award show, he took a screenshot of his phone, and it was like a negative balance in his bank account.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
And then he's going and he's standing on a stage winning a prestigious award.
And it kind of does suck, though, because, like, if you think about it, you can see it's just like, okay, yeah, I mean, just because, you know, he made art that was, like, of, like, the highest quality, I mean, there's nothing that really says, in, you know, capitalism that he has to get paid for that.
Yeah, dude. Like
it's like, dude, that's awesome. Like, that's, like beautiful. It's, you know, gonna be... People are gonna remember it always, but... You don't really, like, what else do you want? Do you want, like, money?
I want to, like, pay rent, like, buy groceries, like, the bare minimum.
Then get a job at the grocery store. Like
no, like, dude, like,
no,
it's insane.
Get a job bagging cheese and fruit.
Yeah, I mean, like, that show was, like, the show of the summer. Like, it was an absolute hit.
That's ridiculous,
It was so
man.
Popular, and the dude...
Is that guy doing better now, or...
He will if the strike goes well.
And then they'll just, like, be like... Well, but is he doing something else, or does he just, like...
I'm not sure how he's making money anymore. Definitely not from writing.
If anyone knows about this specific guy, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
I just learned about him about 2 minutes ago. I'm very invested.
I mean, when we were done here, I look up his Instagram and see what's going on. But,
Okay. Interesting.
Because that's where he went public with all of it, was on his. He just posted it to Instagram, I'm pretty sure, and that just like struck a fuel to the fire. So yeah, if the strike goes well, then he's going to be doing very well as all writers in the guild.
Awesome.
But that being said, there's a few pieces of news that I have that actually relates to the movie today.
Okay.
First, that being, we're starting to move our way into the main topic here. So, first off, a fun little factoid is that Volume 3 holds a brand new world record for the most prosthetics in a film, that being 22,500 prosthetics. And the record was previously held by How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Which that also makes sense, that would have the record for most prosthetics.
Oh, yeah, 'cause everyone's like a Who.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's a Who. So, yeah. And then, secondly, and lastly, before we shift gears here, Volume 3 has officially passed 500 million earned at the box office worldwide.
Wow.
So, $500 million.
So that's like...
I think it's supposed to be the highest grossing MCU film in the last couple of years, which also makes sense.
Besides, like, Endgame?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I think it was Wakanda Forever.
Oh,
maybe,
okay.
But I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they have really been... I mean, they're always making money, but it's so good to see, like we were talking about before, like quality writing and work done to, like, you know, earn that money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like this is well earned.
Yeah. I mean, they had a budget of 250 million.
Wow.
And man, you can really see it. They put every dollar to good use.
I know.
Like,
yeah.
Seeing Endgame off the back of Ant-Man Quantumania and Love and Thunder, which are arguably two of the worst looking MCU films in the entire run. Like, they just look like garbage.
I haven't seen Quantumania, but I heard it was really bad.
It's just green screen galore, and it has no depth to the environment. Like, you can kind of see that it's just like flat.
Oh,
like
gotcha.
It's not. I don't know. The 3D models of like their of Quantumania, or the Quantum Realm, is like.
That guy should not be driving, bro. He's like 9. So that just like the green screen was just like.
Yeah, it was just
like,
flat. It was just not good, and it was the same issue in Love and Thunder, which this isn't. This is not like the visual effects artist's fault. This is a direct result of Disney's horrible overworking of the visual effects artists. So it's not a diss towards the visual effects artists. It's a diss at Disney for overworking their visual effects teams so aggressively that they just don't have any time whatsoever to actually make it look good. Which is it's absolutely insane, and they need to get their shit together about that.
Yeah. I agree.
But it also is just like, it sucks because then going and seeing Volume 3 and seeing how stunning every frame is, it's like, okay, so Marvel, you could be producing this quality of product, but you're just not. You just fully jumped on the conveyor belt train and just are just pumping them out.
Cause money, dude.
Exactly.
Like, that's why this movie sticks out so much, is because I genuinely feel like the first the 3 movies or 4 movies of Phase 1, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I can't really speak to the Hulk because I haven't seen it, and I don't even. It's iffy if it's part of the MCU.
It is.
It is? Okay. But I feel like Iron Man, the first Thor, and Captain America, they're definitely not like my favorite movie. I actually feel like the first like Thor and Captain America are actually pretty mediocre. But you can tell that like it wasn't just like, oh, let's just make some money. It was, let's make a cool movie, and the director appreciates these characters.
Yeah.
And nothing in comparison to the Guardians or anything. But I feel like and then you got like Robert Downey Jr. just giving a phenomenal performance, and Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth were still kind of up and coming.
Yeah.
But I digress. I'm just saying that those first Marvel movies, you could tell that they like actually gave a shit.
Exactly, and they actually felt distinct from one another. Like each film had its own style and flair to it.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they felt
exactly.
distinct. Where now, I mean, even in Phase 3, it was starting to get very all blend together, and they kind of stopped giving directors creative control and like having them have to be a certain look and feel, so it felt cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that's actually a detriment, and you want each one to have its own unique flair.
Exactly.
And which is again why the Guardians films are easily top tier of the entire MCU.
All three
because
of them.
they just let James Gunn cook and do his shit
Exactly
how he wants, and then you have a phenomenal trilogy, and I think that's where the MCU is at its best, is when it lets its filmmakers do their thing.
Exactly.
Actually,
and when
create the art they're trying to make.
When they start like being like, they kind of just start feeling like they'll have like their specific like tones. Like, okay, so Doctor Strange is like, it's about like wizard, magic and alternate dimensions, and then Ant-Man is like a heist movie, so like obviously those are two very separate things, but there's just like so many overwhelming elements in the movie that just make those like have like this kind of like samey quality, where it's like just the same exact jokes, the same exact quips, like the same like dry humor, and like there's always all these archetypes. Like there's always like the main guy who's kind of jokey and just quippy, and then there's like the love interest who's like kind of just not putting up with his shit, and she's just like rolling her eyes at him. And it's like all of these movies just kind of have like those same beats, even if it's a heist movie or a space movie, or I wasn't not calling out any specific movies, but or like a interdimensional travel movie or whatever. And that's kind of what I feel like was kind of getting people down.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the actual just like film as a whole. It was just like, it felt just story beats were similar.
Exactly.
Story beats were overused.
Look at a movie like Black Panther, which I think like the Ryan Coogler, the director, is a prodigy.
Yeah, for real.
He's done the Creed movies. He did this movie called Fruitvale Station, which I still need to see. It's on my list. Heard it's phenomenal. And he did, I believe he did Just Mercy with Jamie Foxx and also Michael B. Jordan.
That was really good too.
Yeah. So this guy's great, right? And in a movie where you got great actors like Chadwick Boseman and Angela Bassett and Michael B. Jordan.
Angela Bassett.
Wait, what?
I just did the Angela Bassett did the thing. Have you seen that?
That's so out of pocket. No.
You've never seen that meme?
No, I didn't know she had a meme.
Oh yeah, it was right before the Oscars at another award show. I forget which one it was. And I forget the person who came out and sang it. She like wrote a song about like all the like powerful women's performances and all of the actresses in the crowd who were like nominated that year or last year, and her when she got to Angela Bassett, she did like Angela Bassett did the thing, and she sang it like that too, and
that's hilarious.
It just became like this whole meme. I mean, the whole song too.
I'm gonna start doing that.
She was like, Viola Davis, you are my woman king. You got to see it. Well, yeah, we'll check it. You'll check it out after this. But yeah, so anyway, didn't mean to derail everything, but I just want to throw that.
No, I'm glad you did that.
Out there.
That's pretty funny. I will definitely be using that now.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, and just a movie that has like elements that set it up for greatness like that. You also have like the classic, like, oh, didn't see that coming, you know, and like, he's right behind me, isn't he? And like all those sort of like cringy ass Marvelisms. And it's like, what is this doing in like my movie? And it just drags it down. Yeah. And I know it's not because Ryan Coogler wrote it like that.
No, that's studio.
That's studio interference. You're like, Ryan, this is too serious. Like, you know, I know you're trying to make, you know, like an African, you know, like film about like that has, you know, art and culture and, you know. But this is too much for the you know, audience to digest. Like put some clips in there. Make some jokes. It's too serious.
I mean, they didn't even let Sam Raimi do his full thing. The script was rewritten 33 times
for Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah,
and that's a movie that I kind of more enjoyed.
Yeah, that's probably like my second favorite Phase 4 film so far.
But even with that, like, there are things that you start to notice that you're like, oh, maybe I don't like this film or love this film as a whole, but it's just like those little like glimmers of like Sam Raimi shit and like this Marvel.
Yeah. I gave it a 3.5.
Yeah, I'd still give it a 7 out of 10.
It was like
it was good.
Yeah, it was good. It was fine. And I think, I mean, the best parts about it are when Sam Raimi gets to like cook and do his thing.
Exactly.
And it gets like classic Sam Raimi horror vibes, which is why, like, come on, you hire the king and you don't let him cook?
Yeah.
Like, why don't what?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like, dude, just let him do his thing. Like, it's insane. Also, the writer, I forget his name, but he's a phenomenal writer too, and they made him rewrite the script 33 times. That's insane.
That's ridiculous. That's like some Stanley Kubrick shit right there.
Like, I wish Scott Derrickson, I'm pretty sure that was the guy who did the first one. I wish he just got to stay on, because he would have given a crazy horror flick. But he quit because Disney kept trying to take over and like make it this thing, and he was like, no, dude, like, come on. And so he dipped, and then they hired the king and continued to get in his way. Ridiculous.
All this stuff they yeah, and it's never gonna stop.
No, it never. It's probably only gonna get worse, if I'm honest, which is sad.
Oh, it's definitely gonna get worse, dude. After this movie, like, everything is gonna look like ass.
Yeah.
Like crap.
I've heard a lot of people say, like, is this is the MCU back? Like, are we back? And I'm like, no, this is the end. This is the last quality thing you're gonna get for a while, if ever. Like, I have hopes for Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars.
I don't even know what that's about.
Well, that's another reason why Quantumania just sucked so hard, because it basically was just a whole just like alley-oop to Kang Dynasty and setting up the villain and stuff. It was just like, it wasn't even in like a Scott Lang like film, basically.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
so
I have hopes for the Avengers movies, but anything leading up to that, I'm expecting nothing.
So wait, is Joe Biden, Chris Evans gonna be like whatever? You know, he looked like Joe Biden at the end of Endgame. Remember?
Oh, he did. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I actually thought that was Joe Biden for a second, and I was like, oh no, they just aged Chris Evans, and then Chris Evans just looks like Joe Biden when he's old.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then so is he gonna like be in it, Chris Evans, or?
No.
Okay, obvious. Okay, and then Tony's dead. Thor. Well, we got Thor. Thor's gonna be in it.
Yeah, he probably will be in it. Yeah.
And then Hulk is doing something.
He'll be in it.
Okay.
I mean, everyone who isn't dead or living in the past, Chris Evans, Joe Biden, back in the 40s.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone who's either dead or chilling in the past are going to be back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
But then everyone, it's going to be crazy because like Secret Wars is like about every single variant of the Avengers from the multiverse, I guess, coming together.
That's crazy.
So there's like rumors of like Andrew and Toby going to come back as Spider-Man.
That'd be crazy.
And with Tom and stuff, and like there's going to be fucking, I don't know, just crazy variants everywhere. I know nothing about
what are they gonna do after this? They might have to retire the MCU because,
dude, I mean, seriously,
like after the multiverse, like I feel like a guy I really like, I'm sure you know him too, Cosmonaut Variety Hour suggested that and this was back when I hadn't really watched many of the MCU films, but he suggested that Civil War be first, or I mean not be like, instead of being like one of the first things, like that be like the final like MCU thing, and that would make sense because like, you know, not only does Captain America die in the Civil War comic, spoiler, sorry.
No, I mean, this is such an old comic.
It's such an old comic. But I feel like it would, like, I agree with him that it would be like a better like ending because, you know, like the last enemies would be like the Avengers themselves.
Yeah, that would have been phenomenal.
That would have been great if they would have done that.
And
the Civil War movie for me, I mean, it was good, but it was still like underwhelming to what I felt like it could have been, like built up after.
Yeah, I mean that it was good, but it could have been, I mean, significantly better. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that was a long-winded rant about the MCU and Guardians and why it's the best and worst thing for it, because it's ending it basically of equality, and it was the best because it got people talking about the MCU seriously again.
Yeah.
But all that being said, shall we actually get into the meat and potatoes of Guardians 3?
Let's dive right into it.
I cried so many times.
Dude, it was rough for me. I went and saw, so you want to just do like positives and then like negatives or whatever?
Yeah. We'll talk about all the positives and then we'll talk about the stuff that didn't work for us. So
I saw the movie I like with two different crowds. I saw it with kind of like a casual, just, you know, your average moviegoer group, just like a, you know, group of like you know, people 18 to 22. And then I saw it with my girlfriend Victoria and Jake and my buddy Ryan. And shout out to my buddy Ryan. I love you, buddy.
He's a cool guy.
Ryan's awesome, bro. And like I feel like all like those three people, like we all kind of have like very like emotional like centers. Like we're very like empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
So and I'm not saying that other people are like, you know, monsters, heartless assholes or anything like that, but I'm just saying like I feel like the first group that I went and saw the movie with really allowed me to kind of like just experience all like the roller coaster of emotions that the movie has to offer.
Yeah. And
just really feel. Whereas like the second time around, it was maybe not as good. I had one of the people I went with asked me not like, didn't say like, oh, I didn't think it was sad, but asked me how people could have thought that movie was sad. And I was like,
Woof.
Did we watch the same movie?
Yeah, I don't understand how anyone can't think animal cruelty is freaking depressing as shit.
And this movie, I feel like, really has like a double whammy for like you know, like just why it's so sad is because it has, you know, main character has his friends killed in front of him, which is like already just awful, and animal cruelty. Yeah. And it manages to do both those things at the same time.
And it's ending the version of Guardians that we've been following for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like it's a triple whammy of just
that's
heartbreak.
I feel like this was like really. So I don't want to like come off callous here, but I feel like while I really loved Endgame, I think I gave it a 9 or a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
I loved it, but the feeling that I feel like I should have got from it, I didn't really like. Just that feeling of like, this is it, finality. Because I haven't really been with the MCU like this whole time. I kind of like popped in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, thought it was all right, and then I had poor taste at that time. Because that movie is phenomenal. Me and Tori just rewatched it.
It is phenomenal.
A few days ago. It really.
I'm in constant battle of which I prefer, that or Volume 2.
They're both so good, man.
Yeah,
they're
hard.
both so good. But I haven't really been like a fan.
Yeah.
Like, so when I saw Endgame, I was just like, oh, that was really good. But like, I had the feeling that I feel like a lot of people had for Endgame. I had that for this. I was like, I have been with these guys for 10 years since I was a little kid. And, this is it. This is like, and, this one definitely matured with you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is
definitely
the most heavy and, hefty movie, on the mind.
I feel like it's even like arguably the heftiest film in the entire MCU.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Dude.
Minus, of course, Endgame and Infinity War, but other than these three,
no,
it's like,
I feel like this movie's like more like.
I think it's the peak,
yeah,
for sure. I think this is the first top,
yeah,
and then Endgame and Infinity War are the next two. But I don't know if any others are like this intense or this hefty.
I know, dude.
Maybe No Way Home, but like even that is still like last in that ranking.
But this movie is like, it's so like, it just kind of grabs your heart from the very beginning when the raccoon, you see Rocket and all the other raccoons in the hand, going to grab him.
First
it
shot.
Just like has like your heart like and like your like stress like the whole time I was watching it. I was like, oh my god, like I'm like, it just has like a very like serious tone.
It does. It has a heavy weight on it right from the jump. Like, you see him getting ripped from his family by this over-encompassing hand, and then it opens to him cruising around nowhere listening to the acoustic version of Creep.
Perfect.
So it's just like,
perfect.
It's heavy from the jump.
Yeah.
And Quill's drinking himself to death out of heartbreak for Gamora,
which might I say would definitely have been played for laughs had it had been any other MCU film.
Oh yeah, I mean, that would be. You can compare it to Thor in Endgame. He's heartbroken about, I forget what. Oh, he's heartbroken about not being able to kill Thanos in time.
Yeah.
And so what does he do? He becomes a fucking meme and has a beer belly. He's drinking all the time and arguing with people on Fortnite. Like, it's played for laughs.
Yeah, exactly.
Where this is like, it's pretty similar to the same thing, both as effect of the events that happened in Infinity War, but with Quill, it has a real weight to it, and he's like, it feels like he's really just like heartbroken and like destroyed. Exactly. And it's not played for laughs at all, and it shows. It's like, I think why this film and all the Guardians films are so impactful and have that like punch that is just missing in a lot of other films in the MCU is because it has that like human element to it. Like, everyone feels like they have something inside them that brings them down, and it's that like sense of the human condition in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And the Guardians and all, if you can like sense that in the characters, that's how like well James Gunn has developed these characters and these stories that we can feel and sense that like human struggle and the human condition, I guess.
Yeah.
Where in a lot of other MCU films, I mean, it's just kind of like watching this character flail around and like make jokes.
Exactly.
You know,
dude.
I mean, and that's another reason, like with Endgame and Infinity War and stuff, it has that weight because they really like focused on those elements of the characters, especially in Endgame. And I think that's why all the greatest characters are the greatest, because they actually have that sense to them, like Tony or like Steve Rogers and stuff. Spider-Man, of course.
Yeah.
They really, I think that would be the second trilogy that really is able to really touch on that.
Wait, which one? You just named 3 trilogies.
The Spider-Man trilogies.
Oh, okay.
Of Homecoming through No Way
Yeah,
Home.
that's the only other really like cohesive like trilogy in the MCU, because like Iron Man 3, all 3 of those movies have a different fucking tone altogether.
Yeah, it's so discombobulated. Every single entry feels different.
And then but those are actually Iron Man movies.
Yeah.
Then you got the Captain America movies, which, okay, the first one's a Captain America movie. The second one is a Captain America and Black Widow and Nick
it's an
Fury.
espionage movie.
Yeah, exactly. And then the third one is just an Avengers 0.5.
Yeah, it's exactly. So, yeah, I don't know where exactly I was going with all this, but it happened.
It's very, very cohesive trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just, you can fucking feel it.
Yeah. Oh my god, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really ever like obviously, you know, if there's a way to like kind of not show something like as horrible as animal cruelty or anything, like just like if there's like an awful scene or a horrible, like, you know, depraved theme in a movie, like it kind of like there's a point where like it will hurt my enjoyment of the movie if I just see something too fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, and I think this movie did it perfectly to where like it like disturbs you, but it doesn't show you anything just like to be like for a shock factor.
Yeah.
Or anything like
that. It
that.
has like weight and purpose to it.
It has weight and purpose. Yeah. Like to all of the, like every scene that was like a flashback scene, you got like exactly what they were doing to all the animals that he's, you know, like doing this surgery on them, and he's putting like cybernetic implants, and it's just this sadistic shit like that he's doing. And but you know, we don't see any of that, but we see the aftermath, which is like on paper not as like visceral, but you know, it hits you more like, you know, in your chest, and it's just, you're just like, oh my god. Like when you see like the bunny that's been like,
oh my gosh,
has like the spider legs on it, and then like the, you know, how he literally straight up cut off.
Okay, had to restart the camera. What were you saying? We back.
Oh yeah, just, and you see the high evolutionary like straight up cut off Lila's arms, and she's just like, and she just has like the robot claws, or you know, and it's just like, oh my god. Like this is some effed up shit.
Yeah, I watched told you earlier, but I watched High Top's video on Guardians this morning.
High Top Films, guys, go check him out.
Yeah, definitely. He gets a lot of unnecessary hate. What was I saying? Oh yeah, but he put it in a really good like frame that I hadn't really thought of before. But we have seen so all the Guardians have like one thing in common, and that they were put through a lot of trauma by an oppressing hand, basically. And we got to explore Gamora and Nebula and Drax's palm of Thanos. Yeah. And we got to explore a lot of that. And then...
Well, Drax was Ronin, technically, but yeah.
Yeah, Roman, Thanos adjacent, basically.
Yeah.
And Ronan, and we got to explore a lot of Ronan as well.
Mm-hmm.
And in Volume 2, we got to see Peter and Mantis's hand with Ego and explore all of that. But we had never seen who hurt Rocket.
Yeah.
And now we have, and I would argue this cat is the worst of them all.
Oh, definitely.
Like
straight up sadistic, evil.
No heart.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No.
And I think High Top put it in a really good way as well. And again, he puts everything in a good way. That sounded way dirtier than I wanted to.
Puts everything on in a good way. No.
But what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah. So like every villain has like a lot of 3-dimension, and like you see where they're coming from and like why they want to do what they want to do.
And that's what makes like some of the best villains.
Yeah, but what makes this cat so horrific is he has no reason.
Yeah.
He just is evil.
He just hates how things are and wants to fuck shit up.
Yeah, and that is, at this point when we've gotten so many like 3-dimensional villains, having one who's just straight up evil just for the sake of being evil, it's horrific. And it's like it really like has an effect, which is awesome. So that's why I think he's like one of the best villains in the MCU.
He's definitely top 3 for me.
Yeah.
He is, dude, just like the scene, you know, like, and it's literally on YouTube. If like you want, I refuse to watch it, but it's literally, you know, on YouTube as sad scene when he shoots Lila and then all that stuff happens. It's just, that's just labeled. It's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Scene.
Sad scene.
It's definitely sad.
It's dude, it'll wreck you. And like when he's like mocking Rocket for like crying,
God.
And he's just like, oh boo-hoo, like something about like, oh, you won the crying contest or something, and then like Rocket like jumps up and just starts mauling the fuck out of his face.
God, so good.
I was like, what is this movie rated right now?
Dude,
I was like, oh my God.
I mean, that scene and literally the first words that Rocket speak being hurt.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
That we just see into, we're shown Rocket's like soul, and like it's like it's such an amazing character and done so well.
Yeah.
But yeah, this really pushed the fucking limits of a PG-13 rating.
We actually got an F-bomb, which was like
first one in the MCU.
First one, yeah, exactly, dude. James Gunn just like literally like had no reservations here.
No.
And it was weird to my ears because it was like hearing Chris Pratt like say like fuck is not like foreign to my ears. But then like I realized, I was like, wait a second.
It's a Marvel movie.
This is like an MCU movie. Like,
there's kids here.
Yeah. And the second time I saw it, actually, there were probably 2 different families like left during that scene. Like after he said, he was like, open the fucking door. And then I just see like 2 people. It's like, what did you think? Like there is gonna be like more F-bombs or something? Like,
I mean, I'm surprised they left at that part, because I'm pretty sure there's quite the intense graphic violence a lot before that happens.
Oh yeah, it just kind of shows you where people are at, dude.
Yeah, that was crazy. Which is, again, that's another thing. The violence in this movie is like, it's visceral. It's like insane.
It is definitely like, it's like R-rated violence disguised as PG-13 because,
yeah,
like, you know, for example, when he's when Rocket's mauling the High Evolutionary's face, you don't like, it cuts like to like his mouth screaming and his eyes, very strategic. Just stuff like when they're like in fight scenes, instead of like red blood, the enemy's blood will be like green or whatever.
Alien shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows?
But like same like R-rated beats.
Yeah,
because James Gunn just got off doing Suicide Squad, and he's like, why?
Yeah. He's like, why? I can't go back.
Yeah, exactly.
This is like insane.
He's like, what's going on here?
So, I mean, yeah, like the face mauling scene alone warranted an R rating, but like, there's so many scenes where Nebula gets like ripped to shreds, and then it just does these crazy body horror contortions with her body and stuff. Like it's like borderline body horror stuff happening in an MCU movie. It's like it's insane. And I don't even know how much times I'm gonna say insane during this podcast, but I've already said it like 1,000 times. Bro, but this movie's just insane.
It's insane, bro.
And like there was one moment where we both looked at each other in like shock of what we just witnessed, because it was so like graphic. If you remember what that moment was, we like looked at each other and were like, how is this rated PG-13?
Oh,
it was like someone got their head cut off.
No, it was when Peter straight up like throws the guy out the window, and then he just jumps out the window after the scientist guy. He kills him by like throwing him into the ground.
Oh yeah.
And then he cuts part of his head off.
Oh yeah, that
he cuts a piece of his head off because there's like some like passkey in it.
Yeah, dude. Oh my. Yeah, that was like so intense.
I was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he like literally the dude like he like throws him into the ground and like drowns him under the. I think he was already dead at that point, but he drowns him under the water. All while Groot. Who, can I just say, like, Groot is just, like, I just want to give Groot a hug, like, the whole movie. He's just, like, this big, smiley monster.
He's amazing.
He's just great. And Groot just, like, had grabbed Peter and then made, like, a fucking wingsuit out of the branches.
Oh, that was sick.
It was so sweet, dude. And then he's, like, literally holding Peter as Peter's, like, throwing this guy against the earth from just plunging, down, hundreds of miles an hour.
Just basically skydived.
Just basically skydived. And then he just takes out a knife and then just starts cutting the guy's head off. Like, almost reminded me of Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, seriously. Like, it was gnarly.
Like, I'll give you a little something you can't take off.
Gosh, yeah, he really pushed the boundaries with that PG-13 rating.
I know, dude.
But what was I gonna say? I was just gonna say I'm losing my train of thought a lot today. I wonder why. But what did you think about the soundtrack this time around?
Dude, I listened to
Mixed Track 3.
I listened to Awesome Mix Volume 3. I tune in. I let it grace my audio receptors. Probably every day, every other day, dude. It's just such an easy to listen to soundtrack.
Yeah.
I love that it's all like kind of like underground 90s alternative.
Yeah.
Like even the version of Creep that's used, and I actually shout out to James Gunn or the powers that be, because I actually preferred the acoustic version of Creep. I think the regular version's great. Iconic all around, but I actually liked the other version, and it was on Spotify.
Yeah.
So now it's on Spotify.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your favorite Awesome Mix?
Between all of them, dude, I'm just, so 90s is like very near and dear to my heart. Like those are probably like where all of my favorite bands are from. But I just feel like 70s music is just a vibe like no other. Like it makes me think of just like being like free and like, summer times and all that. So, I mean, with that, I don't know, man. I actually think that Volume 1 is, like, pretty solid.
Yeah.
Volume 2 is phenomenal also, dude. There's a bunch of great tracks on there. But Volume 1 just has, like, Come Need Your Love, and it has the Hooked on a Feeling.
Yeah.
And there's I Want You Back by the Jackson 5. I love how it starts with I'm Not in Love by I think it's 10cc, just like a 70s soul group, like a lot of like Motown shit, which I love. I might go with the first one, man.
That's a good answer.
I think Volume 1 is my favorite. Yeah. What about you?
I've been having a really hard time deciding on that one because it's so close on all of it. I don't know. I want to say Volume 2 because man, the father and son hits.
Cat Stevens. Oh my god.
Oh,
Volume 2 is definitely a more emotional soundtrack, whereas Volume 1 is just like fun 70s music.
It's just vibes. And then Volume 2 is, way more emotional.
You got the George Harrison, My Sweet Lord in there.
Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, My Sweet... I want to say 2 so bad.
I would... It's got the chain where it, like...
Oh, yeah.
Plays, like, half of Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, fuck it. Volume 2 is my favorite soundtrack.
It's so amazing. And it like, plays, like, the first half of the chain, like, when they're going to visit Ego. And then the second half when he's like, you squished or you killed my mom and you squished my Walkman. And it's like,
that might be
never break. And he's like,
that might be like one of the best needle drop moments in history.
Yes.
Like that moment right there. It's so full of emotion, and it's just like, that's Awesome Mix 2. That's my favorite.
I feel that, man.
Yeah.
And then Volume Awesome Mix 3 is great for sure.
It's so good.
Just a lot. I mean, I guess the familiarity is what elevates the first two, and just kind of like you said, like just the 70s vibes. But let it not be unsaid that Volume 3 is really solid. Like, first of all, you have like a lot of 70s songs. Like you have Reasons by Earth, Wind and Fire, which is like, I've been listening to that on repeat. The one that comes on when they're like, when Peter puts the anti-gravity, the stuff on, and like they're all floating. And then it's got Crazy on You by Heart when they're fighting Adam Warlock. And then like the rest of it's just kind of like pretty obscure, but also like really solid, like 70s 90s like alternative and indie. So I almost thought, dude, from the way things were going, I almost thought he was gonna bust out with like some Neutral Milk Hotel or something. Oh yeah, like it was that sort of vibe.
Yeah, I think with time, Awesome Mix 3 could age into being my favorite. It's pretty close for me. Just because, like you said, that familiarity. I predominantly listen to 90s and 2000s obscure alternative anyway.
For sure.
I mean, that makes me sound like I'm the craziest like hipster ever. I listen to 90s and 2000s obscure alternative music.
it's just your taste. It's not like you reject anything that is
No, I listen to other stuff all the time. It's just that's like my go-to basically. So that being said, it just like it hit, and I was like, "This is awesome." So it's really close, but right now I gotta say 2. Awesome Mix 2
for sure.
Yeah. What about how did you feel about the way the film wrapped up? Like all of the how everyone went their own ways and stuff. How do you feel those things settled? I
personally liked. Like, I liked it. I didn't love it. It didn't detract from my enjoyment of the movie because, like, it wasn't like a downer. And Rocket, who is the heart of the movie, like, got a really happy ending where he was just, like, dancing in his home in the town where he was currently residing in. And then, the post-credit scene showed him hanging out with Groot. And they're with...
The New Guardians. Basically.
Yeah, which is it's Adam Warlock, one of the girls, the Joop girls. Joop.
Oh yeah.
And then Kraglin. I thought that was cool. And Cosmo.
And of course Cosmo.
And I don't know why Nebula and Drax weren't there, because they were still in nowhere. Like they were, maybe Nebula's like being like trying to run for office or something.
I think she said she's gonna like try and protect. Be like almost like a marshal or something
of nowhere.
Yeah,
I get that. Hopefully they'll be in the next one. So for all of them, I thought that was really cool because I really loved Nebula's character.
Dude, her growth over the entire series has been insane.
It's been insane, dude.
But especially in this one.
But in this one, I was like at the beginning when Adam Warlock was kind of beating the shit out of her, I was like, oh shit! Like I hope Nebula like kind of kicks his ass.
Yeah.
And so, suffice to say, like, I think that her character and where she was going really, like, deserves this bit of, like, she's going to, like, lead the city and, protect it and, have Drax, like, help out. And Drax being, like, kind of like a foster dad for all these kids, I thought was great. Yeah. That was perfect. That really worked for me.
Perfect.
I don't get why Mantis left. That was weird to me.
I think she's just going to go figure out who she is.
I guess that makes sense. I wasn't bummed or anything.
Yeah, she said that her whole life she was with Ego, so he controlled of like who she thought of herself, basically just as like servant.
Yeah.
And then she went from that straight into the Guardians, and then basically just hung out with them for like 8 years, and then like never really took time to like know who she is, just in who she is in general.
That I guess.
So I think she just was like, I just need a break.
I'm okay with that. The one thing that I thought was weird for me was Peter going back to Earth, and it's like, wait, all of a sudden you care about your grandpa, and I mean, I didn't like disbelieve it or anything, but I just was like, well, wait, like why is he going back to Earth? And then it said Star-Lord will return. That waste of a post-credit scene where it's just Chris Pratt eating cereal. They're like, all right, Chris, just eat your Weetabix for this scene. Like that's literally it. He's like, oh, that's the whole post-credit scene. He's like, yeah, Chris, that's it. So he's just and it's like, okay, but Star-Lord will return. Like, why? I don't even really. I mean, a Star-Lord movie like that just felt like the Marvel kind of like, they're like, wait, no, James, it's not done. We gotta just dip it a little harder.
Yeah.
Just like get the audience going for the next go around.
And I don't even understand, like, know where he's gonna return, because Chris Pratt just said in an interview at like a premiere that he wouldn't come back, or like he wouldn't want to
keep doing Star-Lord
without
James,
or like it would have to be really, really good or something. So like that's kind of contradictory to the post-credit scene saying that he will return, unless, I mean, I can't imagine him also coming back in Avengers, because he's on Earth now. He could hook up with them and do stuff.
Yeah.
And like in Secret Wars, literally every hero in the entire multiverse is supposed to be there. So I'm sure he's probably going to be a part of that or something. So maybe that's what they mean.
Yeah.
Like a little cameo part.
I would rather have them said, because I assumed that it was saying that like we might get like a Rocket and Groot movie, like a standalone bottle movie. I would just be so down for that if it was just called Rocket and Groot.
Well, I'm sure whenever the new Guardians movies start getting pumped out to make that money, Rocket and Groot will be the
I don't think those are going to be bad, but it's just like, it's going to be so obvious that like, it's like, oh, James Gunn didn't write that dialogue. Like,
yeah, he's going to be it's going to be classic conveyor belt MCU that we've been getting.
I know.
Which is sad.
It is sad.
But
I mean, at least for this movie, we just got something more like an actual, like, a piece of art.
Yeah. What about any like negatives? We basically kind of covered the whole spiel.
Yeah, like the
So what are there anything in it that like were negatives for you?
Okay, so so nothing brought down the movie. I loved this movie as much as I can love a movie. Like this movie it really did it for me.
Yeah.
But just like nitpicks and stuff I would change. I feel like how you like end a movie, like, okay, you're gonna understand what I'm saying, but I don't really know how to phrase it.
Mm-hmm.
So like the song that plays when the credits roll for a movie, that song, like, I feel like is really important, because it kind of is like a sort of like conclusion paragraph.
Yeah. For
the movie, so to speak.
Right.
Like if we're talking like essays.
Yeah.
I just got them with semester of SDSU. I'm sorry. So I just thought like the song that he chose, it's "I Will Dare" by The Replacements. I thought it was a good song, but I feel like he should have played something that had like a little more pop, or like at least maybe like end with because he played Redbone after the mid-credit scene. And then that was playing, and I was like, you just should have done that.
Yeah, you should have just had Redbone.
Because I feel like having "I Will Dare," because it's a very, like, it's like a very poppy song. It's like
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, well, I feel like I just watched, like, that's like a movie that you'd watch like at the end of like a summer comedy or something.
Yeah.
Or like a song that played at the end of a summer comedy. I mean, I know that's stupid, but like I just thought that was like a weird choice for him. Maybe I feel like maybe he just really liked that song and he didn't know where to put it. Maybe.
Yeah.
But it's such a stupid nitpick. And then as far as anything else, I didn't like. Okay, so. Another creative choice that I thought was weird. So here, this is going off something. Here's a positive that reminds me of a negative. The scene where Peter and Groot are just like, all right, Groot, they're up there, and he's like, all right, Groot, he's like, let's just kill everyone, and then he just fucking kill everyone. I thought that was so awesome.
Yeah.
And then like he just literally and like. Obvious, and it just shows like how Peter and Groot have been, they've been at this for a while.
Yeah.
Where Groot just literally like has like 8 guns and he's like shielding Peter from fire, and then like, during that like the No Sleep Till Brooklyn fight scene. Oh my,
yeah,
perfect.
I don't know how we haven't talked about that yet.
I don't know
how
that
was like.
We can take a minute to talk about that.
That was the best.
That was like
fight scene and one of the best fight scenes in the MCU, right?
It really, dude, for sure.
Yeah.
It really was just and just showed like how every like member of the Guardians fights, and I love how they're all interacting with Groot. Like Mantis is swinging off Groot and like kicks someone, and then and it's just like so it's so violent too. I love
really
it.
is.
I love it.
And as we say at the beginning of the show, Donovan loves his violence in movies,
especially if it's like movies like that I've seen a character had to be PG-13 in before. It's like really fucking does it for me. 2 examples are Logan, when you see him in he's like poking aliens and monsters and shit in the X-Men movies, and then in Logan he just kicks ass, just wrecks house. And then Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, she's hitting the rock monsters with a bat, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then in the Suicide Squad, she is like stabbing people and slitting throats. I just love to see that, bro. I love to see like when it, and I wouldn't say Guardians have necessarily been tame, but man, this fight scene really pushed the line. So all that to say, like I really like those were 2 pieces of action I loved, and I thought were like it like didn't hold anything back. Yeah. And then there's kind of like that mutiny above the High Evolutionary's like pyramid ship. I thought it was kind of strange that like he didn't like he just did this like repulse thing and just like turned everyone to ash, and it like didn't really I totally thought we were gonna see like a really like grim scene of like just him like massacring all of his like people on his team or whatever. And I'm not saying that like I necessarily needed that, but I just thought it was weird that they like that he just I mean, I don't know. It just didn't seem super impactful, but that's a tiny nitpick. But my last one is I'd kind of say like they did the classic trope of, even though I loved when they beat the shit out of the High Evolutionary, just like Rocket and all his friends, and it's like they're beating him because like that beatdown is because of what they did to him. It's not because he's like the big bad of the movie.
Exactly. It's like fueled by that like anger.
Exactly.
And like reason.
But then they just pull the trope of just like leaving the partially dead guy on the ship to like crash, and I was like I mean really, but notice how like all of these are just stupid nitpicks. I still think the movie is like actually one of my current favorite movies. What about you? Any nitpicks?
I feel like I would have liked them to actually commit to killing one of them off, because they like kind of teased it a couple times and then never went for it. Like
for sure.
I
thought Star-Lord was gonna die.
That's the big one.
I actually thought
But to start was Rocket, but like I can easily forgive that, because that's just like the driving force of the entire plot. He has to basically die.
I did not think Rocket was gonna die unless it was like the very end of the movie.
And then Drax in the like when they were in that town thing.
Oh yeah,
And he almost dies,
like
but he doesn't.
Fucking, I don't know the guy's name in the movie, but Nathan Fillion is just one of James Gunn's good friends.
Yeah,
he's in a lot of his movies. He's like the David Spade to his Adam Sandler.
Exactly.
He I don't know why I used Adam Sandler in comparison to James Gunn, but it's like the Leonardo DiCaprio to his Martin Scorsese.
Yeah,
there you go.
Or Quentin Tarantino to Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So
or Wes Anderson and Owen Wilson.
Okay, I guess.
I guess Adrian
Brody.
Or,
I would say Adrian Brody.
Or no,
Wes Anderson.
More so.
Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah.
Okay.
It would be Jason Schwartzman. Yeah.
God, Darjeeling's such a good movie.
So
we got to do that for the pod.
Yeah.
But wait, what was I saying? Oh yeah, okay. So when Nathan Fillion shoots Drax twice, I was like, wait, is Drax gonna die right now? Because nothing happened to him. He just looked like he was kind of limping after, and then he was fine.
Yeah, he just got knocked down, I guess.
Yeah.
But there was so much about this is the last Guardians. A lot of them had said that they're done after this. Drax. Why am I blanking on his name? The actor.
Oh, Dave Bautista.
Oh yeah, Dave Bautista said that he's completely done after this one, and almost all of them said that they were completely done after this.
Mm.
So, I'm of course when someone's about to die, and they said that they're not coming back, I must expect them to die.
Yeah, not a fake out.
Yeah, and it happened twice with Drax at first,
and
then I was like, oh okay, that's chill. But then Quill, literally floating in space, bloating, frozen, he's dead. He's fucking dead.
He was definitely dead.
And I thought in that moment,
they made it nasty too.
It was graphic. It was gross. It was gnarly. Another reason why it should have been R was because that moment was graphic. We saw oh my god, why am I blanking on everyone's names?
What?
His daddy.
Oh, Ego Kurosawa?
No.
Yondu.
Oh, it was his father. I'm talking about his daddy.
Oh yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
He ain't your daddy.
He may have been your father, boy, but he wasn't your daddy.
Yeah, Yondu, he died in the same way in Volume 2, but it wasn't this graphic. And I think
it was because of just what Yondu's species.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought it would have been great for Quill to die there because, one, he went back for his iPod thing, which is he would do that.
Yeah.
He wants his music. It's important to him.
Yeah.
And it would have been a romantic, way to dying the same way as your dad.
Who saved you diving that way? Yeah.
Exactly. Who saved you by dying that way, and you saved all of these people, and you died that way. It's it's poetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the word I was looking for.
Exactly.
Not romantic, but poetic. It's a very poetic way to die.
So
I was I was satisfied. Yeah. I was okay, this is a good way for him to end.
Well, and then, romantic in the sense that I guess a fucked up Romeo and Juliet kind of romantic because Gamora's already.
Oh, I think he saved Gamora like that too, in the first one, right?
Yes, he did save Gamora like that. In the first. So yeah, that would kind of come full circle.
Yeah.
Well, and I was gonna say because Gamora, the Gamora that he knew, was dead pretty much. So I feel that's kind of. What, now he's just going to be, eating cereal in the MCU now? For the rest of, that's going to be...
That's him now.
I
would have definitely preferred him to die, though.
Yeah, I think that would make sense.
That's probably my biggest qualm.
What did you think of, how they handled Gamora?
I thought it was great.
Yeah, I didn't think it was...
I'm really happy with that.
He did the best, because it was still Gamora, as a character, unless she was, a little bit more of a dick.
But she's old Gamora before she had joined the Guardians.
Exactly.
So she hadn't learned any life lesson that made her who she was when she died in Infinity War.
But you can really tell, it is obvious that, in his trilogy, James Gunn didn't plan on Gamora dying.
No.
So
Yeah.
I don't think he was even gonna kill her off.
Yeah, I doubt it. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's any statement on that.
And then she's the only
anywhere
one
or
of the
not,
Guardians
but-
who's actually died, but in a different movie.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. I don't know. It's that's probably my only complaint though. Other than that, I mean, there's a lot of arguments that it's a little overstuffed. Like, there's a lot of time spent with Kraglin and stuff when we could have maybe trimmed some of that down and focused it more.
Yeah, he's not the most fascinating character.
But I understand, although I feel like that argument's valid and you could have trimmed stuff out from other characters to focus in and make the story a little bit more focused, I think it makes sense to me that we did. I mean, Kraglin is an important character and he had to get that issue resolved for himself as well.
Yeah.
I mean, but then you can also argue that that could have been resolved in the Christmas special also.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
It's just a little something that it's a nitpick. It's not a huge deal.
Yeah.
And I see why, but I also can see a better way that it could have been done.
Okay.
So it's just kind of
whatever. All the Adam Warlock 12 of the Adam Warlock comic book readers came out and said, I liked Adam Warlock in the movie.
Yeah, I thought he was fine.
But I guess people were like, oh, well, he's not in the movie enough. So then the second time I was in the movie, I was like, he's literally a pretty steadily recurring character. He's he's not just, he doesn't just show up at the beginning and then nothing. He's he does shit.
Yeah, no, he's in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't mind the involvement level or not. Yeah, I think other than those two things, I don't really have any complaints.
Yeah, dude, solid. You want to go into ratings?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What did you give it?
I would give it a 10, dude. This is
perfect 10.
This is a easy perfect 10. It just made me it really made me feel, and you have to be this movie will hit you so much better if you go into it vulnerable and in a space where you can just kind of go on the journey that the movie wants you to go. I know that sounds super corny, but just enjoy the movie for everything that every little bit of phenomenal dialogue and heart that James Gunn put in here, because you can tell he really, really, really gave a shit about this movie.
Yeah, exactly. I would 100% agree. I would give it a 4.5 out of 5.
4.5, okay.
It has potential to move to a 5.5.
If you used my rating system, you'd probably give it a 9.5.
It'd be a 9 3/4.
Fair enough.
Basically.
Okay.
It's only those.
Letterboxd way.
Yeah, I used the letterboxd way of rating out of 5. So, and I think it's just the things that I mentioned that bring it down that half star.
Yeah.
But I think it has. I mean, I've only seen the thing once, so it's not a confirmed, fully settled rating
for sure
until I see it again and I can kind of see some stuff. But yeah, That's pretty much it. So with that all being said, we will now move into an outro of sorts.
Our own outro.
Our own outro. So typically at this point we might do a Q&A or something like that, but obviously this is the first episode of the show, so there are no questions. So if you want, if you want more from either of us, you can find us on our socials. Yours, you can shout any of yours out.
Mine is Dono _ Holla HOLLAH. That's nothing.
Not an email.
Just that. It's not an email. On Instagram.
Yeah, Letterboxd or anything.
Yeah, I don't really. I have a Letterboxd account, but I just kind of I'm just a stalker on it.
Yeah.
I just peep.
I get you. Yeah.
What about you?
For me, I have my Instagram at JakeOmera_, and then I think on Twitter it's the same thing, and I think on Letterboxd it's the same thing. I'll leave it all in the description below, and I have link trees as well. So You can find all of our socials, and you could find this show at the Miscast Review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and highlights on our Instagram at the Miscast Review on Instagram.
And also TikTok sometimes.
And I was also going to say, you'll also find highlights over on TikTok on the same handle, that Miscast Review on TikTok. Yeah, and if you have any questions that you want to be submitted and answered on a show, you can either leave comments on any of those platforms or send an email at themiscastreview@gmail.com. And I think that pretty much does it.
And away we go.
First episode back. Felt pretty good.
I loved it.
All right.
Felt like home.
Later, losers.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were flipping them off.
Oh, no.
My
Peace.
bad.
Peace.
Okay.
All right.
Peace.
Okay, bye.
Is it still on?